Yes, our friends over in New Zealand were fighting for gold. Yes, SPW's Fight for Gold 2026 recently dropped here on YouTube, and we were happy to watch it. We're happy to review it. We're going to let you know what was our favorite moments, what was our favorite match of the night, all this and more coming up on Ring Respect Radio. That is your show, and boom, just like that, it's Thursday night, and we want you to party with us. We're the Video Bros. My name is Bobby Munson, the man sitting beside me. He's the man with the angelic voice. He is Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, happy Thursday. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, Thursday again, Munson, and I'm always happy to be here on Ring Respect Radio. Always happy to host the show with you, and we got a lot to talk about today. Not only the New Zealand show, but some big wrestling happenings in our hometown of Saskatoon this past weekend in our home promotion of Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Oh, do we? Do we? I mean, I know somebody who was there who got to witness it. It was this gentleman right there. Good night. Good. Are you saying good night to us, Bass? Like, are you going to bed already, man? Like 7:05, and you're turning into bed already? Or are you just like good evening, gentlemen? Is that what you're going for? This is like your good evening to us because you just geared up and excited, ready to start your night here with the Video Bros. The Manglers in the house, Papa Smokes, always on a Thursday. I love having the Mangler here as well, too. Happy Thursday, gentlemen. No better place to be. And there we go. There we go.
That's true.
Good evening, my boys, is what he meant. There we go, Bass. That's what we wanted to see. That's more like it. Geared up and ready to talk some indie professional wrestling. That's what we're all about here. Indie professional wrestling, and lots of it to talk about. Papa Smokes, I was also just browsing, and our friends over at Winnipeg Pro Wrestling dropping back-to-back shows. The Voyager Cup Part 1, the Voyager Cup Part 2, and Fight at the Museum all dropped on YouTube. Man, we got some catching up to do there, my friend, when it comes to talking about Winnipeg. I don't know how you want to handle this. I don't know if we stretch this out over a period of time with that, or do we watch all three and just kind of try to summarize it best we can into, say, about a 90-minute, hour-long episode? It's your call. What do you think, Pop Smokes?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I sure want to get caught up on that. And we will watch those three WPW shows because love their product, love what they got going on over in the pig there. So we'll discuss this further, but we gotta watch all those. I want to see Night at the Museum. That's such a cool concept for a wrestling card.
It really is. Yeah, I can't wait to watch all those shows. And you also get to check out the voice of WPW, our good friend Blair at the Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to check his podcast out, subscribe to him, follow him, do all those wonderful things. Check him out on all social media, and also check out Winnipeg Pro Wrestling as well, too. And it was an amazing show. It sounds like it. I've seen clips. I've seen all sorts of things posted from it. Excited to watch it, Blair. We are going to get down to that very, very soon. In fact, I already know next week's going to be, if nothing else, we're at least going to cover the Voyager Cup next Thursday night, and then maybe do Fight at the Museum another week or two later, something like that. We'll get around to all of them as soon as possible because it's such great wrestling to talk about. And of course, we want to talk about for a moment Prairie Pro Wrestling because Papa Smokes, we just held our second show of the year. It was PPW Resurrection. Yes, how risque of PPW to call their April 4th show of the long weekend PPW Resurrection, but yes, we did. And oh boy, did we have some upset folks at this one in particular. We saw new tag team champions, the Brotherhood, coming out successful, beating the Short Kings and becoming the new Prairie Pro Wrestling tag team champions. That already set the mood kind of on a bit of a downswing that night. The fans were not too happy, but Papa Smokes, that dusty old finish, that main event that didn't happen was something to be seen. And we're going to see what does Bastard say. Best way to describe the last PPW show, delicious 5-course meal. And when they bring out the dessert, the waiter throws it on the floor and tells you to leave. Bass, my man. Hilarious. And so, yeah, I mean, the main event didn't happen, right? Creed comes out, he attacks the champion, and then he attacks Riley Cruz. Cannonball comes out to help, but then again, the tag champs come out, and it was nothing but a beatdown, absolutely tearing into the guys there, saying that there would be no main event. Creed had one thing in mind: make sure this main event doesn't happen, and that's what he achieved. in this thing. He didn't let Riley Cruz get near the champion because he doesn't want him to, because he was calling for that shot at the February show. And when the champion wasn't there, I think Creed had the expectations that he would fight the champion tonight. But unfortunately, he had lost a matchup to Riley at the last show, allowing Riley to be the new number one contender. So Creed's pissed off, and he did Creed-like things along with the Brotherhood. They laid everybody out. The guys weren't in any condition to fight anymore. And unfortunately, especially us camera guys, we had to take a little heat there at ringside. The fans a little revved up, and I could talk about it all day, and we are going to talk about it a little bit more, but why don't I show you guys a quick 2-minute little piece of the hard cam footage about what happened when the true realization that the fans were not getting their main event kicked in. Here is some very raw footage of the last couple of minutes right after the music stops and the lights come back on. You can see it goes on for a while, but you kind of get the hint there. Yeah, Blair, it was a pretty good house for especially being on the long weekend. So we were pretty happy about the house that we were able to draw. Ed coming in. Hey, Ed, how's it going? Ed, you're just live with Marvel Talk just before us. I hope everybody who didn't catch it live goes checks out the replay. Yeah, Bass, you are loud. I didn't even get as far into it, but at one point you actually hear Bass get out there and yell, "You ruined Easter." And it gets a little bit more colorful from there, but it was a shock ending. And I know that a lot of people are upset and everything like that, but that's wrestling, man. Sometimes you got to take the bad with the good. And the dusty finish means that you're going to end up getting something down the line that, we're not just going to leave you on this. It's going to build to stuff. And the patience pays off. And I can tell you this now, the patience will pay off with time. And it will all make sense over time. I'm certain of that. I'm certain it's going to lead to great matchups. But yeah. And also, speaking of Marvel Talk, Andre C. in the house. Apparently, according to Marvel Talk, he loves the ladies. He is Andre C. But yes, Papa Smokes, your thoughts on the moment that main event ended and the "we're not leaving" chants kicked in and a whole lot. I mean, we were down there at ringside. We heard every word and every upset fan as they were walking out that evening.
Well, even in that clip, you can see us standing there with the other cameraman, Warren, and I mean, we're confused as well. And I'm of two minds about this whole situation too. I mean, I was excited for the title match. We've seen Clark battle Cruz before in a tremendous match, one that we just recently called with commentary. Fantastic matchup, these two. They're both popular in Saskatoon. And I wanted to see this match not only as a member of PPW, but as a fan as well, right? I wanted to see this wrestling match. Love it when there's a heavyweight championship match at the top of the card in PPW. But you already outlined what happened. The Brotherhood and Jacob Creed did not want this match to happen. They did not care just for the good feelings around a championship match. They wanted to come in and play spoiler. So with the attack, I understand the way it all went out. Cruz and Michael Allen, Richard Clark were hit with belts, were hit with chairs. There was all kinds of nefarious action going on. We didn't know how injured these two wrestlers were. There was no way that there was really going to be a proper, fair championship match happening after this sneak attack by the Brotherhood. And that sucks. And I understand the fans' frustration. Man, it got a little wild, even wilder than that clip suggests. There were drinks thrown in the ring. There was a chair thrown in the ring by fans. We do not condone this behavior ever. And it's too bad because our PPW fans are awesome. 99% of the time, they're completely awesome. They're well behaved. They're respectful and all that. But this frustrated them very badly. You saw the guys rocking the crowd barriers. You heard some of the words that were spoken. We heard them all. And there was great frustration and great anger going on at this time. I understand the feelings of the fans. However, I said I was of two minds about this. I understand the frustration of Jacob Creed as well because he has earned a number one contender spot. He's earned a title match against Michael Allen Richard Clark. He wants this match. He's tired of waiting for it. PPW cards only happen once every 2 months or so. So if you miss one opportunity, you got to wait a while for the next one. Creed's tired of waiting. He doesn't want to leave it to politicking in the back, trying to convince Crash Crimson that he deserves his title shot. We know how Crash Crimson operates. He has favorites and he has people that he doesn't like. Ask Sheik Shabazz about that. He could never get a break from Crash Crimson. So I understand the frustration on the other side from Jacob Creed and the Brotherhood. But man, it was a tough look. It sucked for the fans to not get this main event and not get this championship match they wanted. So in a way, I understand this frustration. I don't like the way they vocalized. I don't like the way some of the fans acted out of frustration, but in a way, I understand it as well.
Yeah, and beautifully said too, Papa Smokes. I mean, they did feel cheated. You can understand Creed's frustration. Hopefully that what it leads down to is come June 27th at the next PPW show at the Cosmo is that we're going to see some retribution for the actions, that the fans are going to get something in return for what happened to them at this one. And you got to trust the process, trust PPW. We've been there for you all this time. We've given you banger classics. We've given you great cards. And you got to look at it as we aren't going to let you down. You will get your money's worth continuously. Even if you felt like you were cheated this one time, everything else will make up for it. And I can make that a promise. That is a promise that you will not be let down time and time again. We are exactly what we are. We're PPW, and we put on one fucking great show.
Yeah, that also well said, Munson. And the card leading up to that match was of the same awesome quality that we always offer. But again, that frustration boiled over a little bit. Was it an ending that divided the crowd? Yes, it was. Was it on the line of acceptability and desirability? Yes, it was. Maybe did it go over into the cross the line a little bit for the fans? Yeah, it did. And that's the way she goes sometimes. We've all been frustrated by the endings of some wrestling cards when they didn't go the way that we wanted them to. But yes, have faith, PPW faithful. Come back and see what happens in this, because I have the feeling Creed's made a strong argument for him getting that title shot, and we're going to see what Crash Crimson and the rest of the championship committee think about this, and we're going to see in the next card in June what's going to happen. Don't miss it, because things are going to get wild.
And if you want to catch PPW before then as well too, Pop Spokes, remember that in less than 2 weeks, we have got PPW and the Saskatchewan Rush presented at the SaskTel Center. It is WrestleMania. Yes, PPW is going to be doing 2 matchups before the game and 1 at intermission. We know that big one at the intermission, Papa Smokes. It is the other side's mascot and Jacob Creed tag teaming together to take on Riley Cruz. And, of course, Saskatchewan's own Rowdy from the Rush is going to be there, our own mascot, Papa Smokes. I can't wait. WrestleMania is going to be fantastic. You might be thinking to yourself, Bobby, you got to be crazy. That's the day that WWE puts on WrestleMania. Who the fuck cares about WrestleMania? Get your ass out to the Rush game and check out the best pro wrestling in town, Prairie Pro Wrestling. We want to see you down there. Can't wait for it, Papa Smokes.
And old WrestleMania is going to be on Netflix forever, so you can watch it whenever. Come out and support local live wrestling and watch the lacrosse game at the same time. And if you thought this was a joke match of Cruz and a mascot against Creed and a mascot, well, that match just got a lot hotter after this Saturday. There's going to be some residual feelings going on there. And you don't think Creed's going to try and put it to Riley Cruz in this match? Maybe put him out of the title contention picture? Maybe put him out of PPW for good. You can't know what's going on in the mind of Jacob Creed, but he is deadly serious about getting to the top of PPW, and he's deadly serious about that championship gold. So we're going to see what happens. Munson, I'm going to be there. I know you're going to be there. Come down and join us for WrestleMania. It's going to be a good time.
You bet. Bass wants to ask a quick question before we move on here. He wants to know, Papa Smokes, what did you think of Soup Nasty this past Saturday?
I think a lot of Soup Nasty. We just had him on the show for an interview last week on Thursday. Got to know the guy a little bit. And then when he came out for his match and all during his match, he has got the hearts and the enthusiasm of the PPW crowd. He is over as hell. So, at the end, when when Cruz and Clark were being attacked by the Brotherhood, the crowd wanted Soup Nasty to come out to fix this situation. So he's in the hearts and minds of the PPW fans, and he's on his way up in this company and in Western Canadian wrestling for sure.
Yeah, and we got to love it, right, Papa Smokes? They got that chant going very quickly, the nation did. Soup, there he is. Soup, there he is. Or what? Soup, there it is. Sorry, it's Soup, there it is. But come on, I almost think it should be Soup, there he is. I like Soup, there he is. I think is a even better version. Hello, Mel Ball. Thank you for being here on Ring Respect Radio.
Hey, Mel.
Appreciate you being here as well, too. But yes, that is all. We're going to talk about PPW for today. We'll talk about more PPW each and every week here because that's what we love and we do. But what we also love, Papa Smokes, is our friends that are on the edge of the world, our friends over in New Zealand, our Kiwi buddies over at SPW New Zealand, and it was Fight for Gold 2026 that we are reviewing here tonight. Yes, if you haven't checked it out, go check out SPW NZ on demand over on YouTube. You can check out all of their past shows, including this one, the SPW Fight for Gold. And of course, the Fight for Gold always is a 4-way ladder matchup with the briefcase hanging to the top. That is your Fight for Gold briefcase. You can choose your shot at the champion at any time. It has been a very successful thing for many people before, not so successful for our good buddy, the Divine Light, James Shaw last year, but maybe it'll be more successful for this year's winner. Want to find out who that winner is? Stay tuned to the end of the show. We're going to get to that, but we're going to start off with how this thing began, and that was with our good buddy, the Divine Light, James Shaw, coming out to apparently take on the People's Palmer. At least that's what we were led to believe. And as James comes out here, Papa Smokes, I'm thinking he's the Congress of Light without a Congress anymore. He's seeming a little bit solo out there. He seems like he either needs Bishop Shaw to be coming down to ringside at SPW with him, or maybe he needs a couple of buddies from Canada to make the flight over and be in his corner or something like that. We could get ourselves involved there. But nonetheless, James Shaw comes out, apparently take on the People's Palmer. People's Palmer comes out, gets on the mic and say, he's not fighting. He's on his honeymoon right now. Congratulations, Palmer, for getting married. Cheers to you. He says that he will not fight James Shaw tonight, but he's got the perfect opponent for him, and out comes K9. Oh, my God, Papa Smoke. We have got a match on our hands. K9 coming out here. Yes, and holy shit, what a match to start this show off with. Like, I'm talking a clinical pro wrestling match between two of the tops at SPW. Not just two of the tops at SPW. These are two of the top guys in independent professional wrestling, period. When you put these two guys in a ring, you're going to get a good match. It almost doesn't matter who they're working with, because these guys will lead those matchups in all the best way. And they did a phenomenal job with this one here. This might arguably probably my favorite match of the night. That Fight for Gold's hard to contend with sometimes because that's the whole focus of the show. But in terms of just pure pro wrestling and the amount that I like the two guys involved, this match was an absolute banger, as the kids would say, to start this off.
Absolutely, and this is one of the matches for SPW. Two of their best competitors, one villainous towards the fans, and then K9 just he's villainous in his actions. However, the fans just absolutely love him. He's one of the badass tough guys of New Zealand wrestling, probably the badass tough guy. He comes out with the chest bumps and with the barking and everything. He was one of the wrestlers that stood out to me immediately when we first started watching New Zealand wrestling, and a big crowd favorite. So awesome, but can't say enough about James Shaw as a heel. I mean, he's just so tremendously effective. And you mentioned that he doesn't have much of a congress of light around him anymore, and that's hardly surprising by the way he's just lied and connived and cheated even his own followers all the way through it. I love the way David Dunn on commentaries called him a snake oil salesman. That's just
Yeah.
the absolutely perfect description of James Shaw. He never stops lying, even for a minute. There's not an honest bone in this guy's body, and he just plays it perfectly. He's so good on the mic and so good in the ring that this match just rocked. Putting it on first got the crowd to a huge high level that it basically maintained throughout this whole show. And what a great choice putting this one on first.
Oh, phenomenal. Yeah, K9 ends up getting the win because, of course, the People's Palmer causing a distraction. It's obviously leading up to a chance where James Shaw and People's Palmer will have another one-on-one encounter with each other. That story is definitely not over, but we won't be not talking about James for the rest of the night. There's more to talk about with this man. We'll get to it soon, and it's the next piece that he's involved in is quite shocking, so we'll talk about that very shortly. Up next, we had in singles action, surprisingly, now that the BLD has kind of got a facelift, Papa Smoke, since they turned on J.K. Moody at the last program there of last year. Now we got J.K. Moody no longer there, but we got Azza leading the team, and of course Saboor and Corey Beams, the former tag team champions, both in singles action. This one, Corey Beams taking on Blade Lennox. So I was very curious to see how this would turn out, what the direction for the new BLD would look like here, and how these individual guys would wrestle in individual matchups, because we've seen them in a lot of tag teams lately. And this was another solid matchup here on the card. A good way to get Corey Beams into that singles competition action as well too. A great highlight for him. I thought Blade Lennox did a decent job here as well. But again, it's an opportunity to push the BLD in their new formation as well too. And Corey Beams getting the win by tap out with the single leg. This was a nice match, and it was good placement on the card as well too, as well as the one we're going to talk about next. But I thought this was very well done and a nice display for Saboor. But I also thought that in this case, Blade Lennox was a standout.
For sure, and we like to analyze the way companies set up their cards. They could have put this match on first. This would have been just a dandy preliminary match. 7 minutes approximately long. Nothing very fancy. Heel versus babyface. I thought it was kind of cool that Blade Lennox was an American coming down and doing a tour there. He did a great job as a babyface. All kinds of spirit and enthusiasm. Got the crowd on their feet. Got them behind him. Very, very good stuff. Corey Beams kind of rebounding after what you mentioned about the Blacklight District breaking up or reconfiguring anyway. And Yeah, nothing fancy. 7-minute match. Beams went after Lennox's leg, did that limb work, worked over the leg, and then very, very logically, uh, Blade Lennox had to tap out to that shrimp holder, that single leg crab, and this match made a whole lot of sense. It
Mhm.
was exciting enough, but I also think that putting this match on second after that banger of a first match was just perfect. Vassar was talking about a 5-course meal before. This is like putting the spicy dish first and then kind of a palate cleanser second. And I think it's beautiful for scheduling and it's structuring the card this way. So solid preliminary match second. Why not? Beams goes over, keeps people kind of thinking and talking about the Black Light District and how they might look in the future.
100%. Yeah. And then I was kind of shocked with where they went with the next, like the choice in the next match at first until we got to the aftermath of it. And we'll talk about that in a second, because right away, Corey Beams' tag team partner, Saboor of the Black Light District, is in a match against someone else we unfamiliar with so far. At least I was in Mad Attack. And again, this was another great opportunity for them to display these guys in singles action, because we don't know, are they going to keep them as a tag team? Is the direction for them to go into singles competition to give them a little boost? You know, maybe they need to start building that next generation of guys that are going to head towards the top, and it's the opportunity for them. So we get this great one-on-one matchup between Saboor and Mad Attack right afterwards. I was just kind of shocked they didn't separate them, but we'll talk about the aftermath in a minute and why, for me, that tied it back together and made more sense that it was placed where it was. But your thoughts on this one, Pop Smokes?
For sure. Yeah, this is our first time seeing Matt Attack. Another one of those wild names that they have down under there. There's the Willpower and the Wanna Fight and all these guys. Matt Attack. Okay, simple but effective, I suppose.
Yeah.
But he looked good as a babyface for sure. Saboor is really good at being a heel. I like his stuff a lot. One of the things I like about him is he is conscious of where the ringside cameras are. He does that cocky stare into the camera. He won't break his gaze from the camera. It's so annoying. Like, it gets under your skin as a viewer. You want to slap his face. You want to grab him around his goozle pipe and say, if you stare at me for one more second, you little bastard, I'm going to slap you. Yeah, he gets under your skin like that. Then Matt Attack, being a good babyface, wants to get the action going, wants to get the match going, and Saboor is running and stalling and jumping out of the ring and running around the ring. He had the fans in a frenzy. Did you hear some of the audio from this? There was so many children at this card, which is always a good thing to see. Some of those kids were just screaming like horror movie screams as loud as they could. They talk about frustration at wrestling. They were getting so mad. It was awesome. Saboor was whipping them up into a frenzy. And there was nothing tremendously groundbreaking about this match. It was 9 minutes approximately. Saboor just healing it up the whole time. Corey Beams coming out, interfering in this match, distracting the referee. The referee that couldn't see without his glasses. That was kind of a recurring theme from the last match and through this one, excuse me.
Yeah.
But Saboor ends up hitting a Macho Man Savage style elbow drop off the top rope, gets the pinfall, but then there was blowback after this match. You want to go through this, Muncie?
Yeah, so the blowback is right after the matchup. This is the attempt by Saboor and Corey Beams to do an extra beatdown of Mad Attack, but suddenly Blade Lennox appears back after having just lost the matchup to Corey Beams in singles action. And he evens out the numbers. They're not going to have any of it, and now declares that they want to make a challenge to the former tag team champions of the Blacklight District for April 18th and put that on the table. Now, this makes it a lot more interesting. This is like, okay, not only were we getting to see these guys in singles action in case that becomes the trajectory for them, but now you've built something here. You had these two guys take a loss to them, But then the other guy, Blade Lennox, is saying, no, I ain't going to let these guys muck around and beat the hell out of this guy. Like, forget it. No, I'm going to stick up for him. And if you guys want to go this route, let's have a tag match. So now we've got a unique tag match on the table. The former champions against this newly formed team formed out of, common enemies that are going to happen. Now they got to both be looking at that matchup first, but then whoever wins that one is also going to be looking at, are we maybe next in line for a tag team title opportunity? Again, if you have these two new guys come together and manage to upset the two guys from the BLD that are the former tag champs, hell yeah, these two new guys are going to say, guess what, SPW management, we want a crack at the gold. And rightfully so. If you beat the former champions, I don't see why you wouldn't want to take a crack at the gold.
Very much so. And Saboor and Beams were champions for a while, and good champions. So I mean,
Very.
if you beat the ex-champions, you show that you can hang up in that position, and that's exactly what this newly formed tag team wants to do. So very interesting. Two new faces at SPW. They're going to team up and go after the ex-champions. You can see that they're serious about getting in that tag team title picture. And we're going to talk about that right away because we had a little shakeup in the SPW tag team title picture. Another great match coming right up here.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it led right into it. And I thought that now this is what makes the placement on the card even more effective, because after you've built this little storyline in the tag division, we move on to that gold. The SPW Tag Team Championship on the line. The champions, King and Crosscheck, Nico Bell and Michael Richards, defending against the Power Tools, the former tag team champions, Will Power and Hammer. Both guys were on the side of retirement or had retired. They've come back out of retirement. I remember my first introduction to SPW a long time ago, Pop Smokes. Like, these guys were the tag team. They were the champions at the time. Or at least one of the tag teams I remember as the champions at the time. And now they're kind of back. They're in that picture. They want to take another crack at it. This might be the final opportunity for them to get in there and be tag champs once more before they finally hang up the boots once and for all. I was curious to see if they would be able to hang, because King and Crosscheck have really started to come together nicely as a tag team. It's always funny seeing Nico Bell in SPW as a heel versus IPW, where he's a baby face. He is very well hated and does an excellent job at the heel work in this matchup, and is developed nicely as a heel character as well too. Really starting to, Nico Bell's growing on me quite a bit over the time of seeing him. I'm really starting to enjoy his work a lot. So yeah, so we had I thought this was a fantastic tag team title match. This was well done by all four men. This was great. In fact, this is, hands down, I'm going to say this might be my favorite SPW tag team title match I've seen since you and I started doing the reviews of SPW. This was very well done. It made sense. Power Tools did go over and become the new champions, but awesome match throughout. And again, King and Crosscheck not only still looked good, but you still arguably put them right back into that picture at any point in time.
Yeah, I thought this match was really good and very well done. King and Crosscheck have looked pretty dominant in their reign as tag team champions so far. I love Nico Bell's hockey gimmick. I mean, being Canadian, we're going to love that for sure. And he looks legit. He kind of has that grizzled look. He always has a bruise or two on his face. He kind of looks like an actual hockey player from around here. And he brings the stick and all that to the ring. But Power Tools just, yeah, you can see that they're veterans and everything. Will Power is wildly over with the New Zealand crowd. They love him. You can see they've loved him for years. Hammer, I mean, he doesn't even need any kind of a gimmick. He's big and strong. Wow, he looks like a juggernaut. You know who he reminds me of, the way he looks, Munson, to bring it around to Canadian wrestling again? He looks like Archie the Stomper.
Oh, yeah, nice. Good show.
I mean, that big, thick body, that bald head, that kind of, his face just is kind of ugly like a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, he looks the part. He looks like a wrestler all the way. Love this guy. You can see that he's not a spring chicken either, but he works very, very well in the ring, and his strength is tremendous. I mean, he's a nail gun. He's very, very strong. Um, yeah, the power tools sold for a lot of this match, fighting from underneath. The heels had controlled this. This was around a 16-minute match, so a lot of it was the baby faces selling from underneath. Hammer finally gets the hot tag, and he's an irresistible force coming in there. Some of the King and Crosscheck were trying to bump off of this guy, and he will not be moved. His center of gravity is so strong, and he's so strong on his feet. I mean, these guys couldn't even budge him for some of this. The heels had many pin attempts on Hammer. He was not having it. Too strong, kicking out from everything. It looked like the match was lost for the baby faces. This match was set up so beautifully. It all seemed to be lost, and then Will's power hits the frog splash, gets the pinfall, and new champions. This surprised me a little bit. I wasn't foreseeing a title change in this match for whatever reason. I thought that Crosscheck and the other guy were going to get over in this match, but no, new champions. So SPW wanting some new blood at the top of the tag team picture after Blacklight District had controlled the belts for so long, and then King and Crosscheck had them for a while. Now we got new babyface champions, and the crowd popped for this. They were loving it. I feel like they were as surprised as I was. So excellent work in the setup of this match. It was very suspenseful. Big surprise at the end, and we got new tag team champions. The fans couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be happier. It'll mix it up a bit in the tag team standings.
And such a great match, and the fact that they might, who knows, run it back on April 18th if the tag titles are on the line again. I could foresee the rematch happening, and why the hell not? It was a phenomenal match, so let's see it again.
For sure, they had chemistry all the way through this, and I mean, wrestling's all about you get a good match, you gotta run it back again at least once. Wrestling's all about the rematch, right? So fans have seen it, they know it's good, they know they're gonna like it again. So let's run it back.
100%. Now up next on this card, Papa Smokes, I was all kinds of excited. They announced it's going to be Ram against the miraculously returning from injury, Hooligan. And I'm scratching my head going, man, I saw the posts about this guy. Like, he was hurt. Like, he had a major surgery. I can't remember with the amount of time. Like, we're talking like a year to a year and a half on the shelf that the expectation was. And when they announced Hooligan on this card, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, what kind of healing powers does the Hooligan Marcus Cool have that he's managed to recover already and get onto this card? And then all of a sudden, I got duped, Papa Smokes, big time, because all of a sudden that music plays and it's let's have it. And all of a sudden at the top of the ramp, wearing a bald cap of all things and dressed in the shorts and having the cleats over the shoulders is the divine savior, the divine light, James Shaw, you son of a bitch. I mean, I wanted to be so angry because I'm like, you took away a moment with Marcus Cool, but at the same time, I'm like, it's so villainously good again from James Shaw. Like, they come out here and say that miraculously Marcus Cool has recovered from injury, and then steal that moment from all the fans on hand and work a matchup where he was working a lot of the catalog in-ring work of Marcus Cool throughout this damn thing. And I was just like, God damn, of course you're going to go do this to us. So we end up getting Hooligan Shaw versus Ram in this one. And Hooligan Shaw ended up getting the victory in the end. But man, James, he seems to want to have problems with everybody, is what it comes down to. Because I can't imagine the second that Hooligan is okay to go again, that he didn't watch this and think to himself, I'm going to go penalty kick that son of a bitch when I come back.
Oh, he popped me too as well. You know that I'm a huge Marcus Cool fan. Love the Hooligan. he was one of the guys that stood out to me when we first started watching and covering New Zealand wrestling. Awesome as a heel, even better as a babyface. The fans love him. He's a he's a man of the people. He's a punter, so to speak. He comes out with his cleats, and everybody loves a footy fan, and everybody loves the hooligan. I wanted to see him back, but the same thing. I thought, damn, didn't he just have a huge surgery? And oh, out comes James Shaw with the skinhead wig and the outfit. I was, my God, right? Like, so hilarious. But Shaw's such a talented performer that he pulls this off. And
Mhm.
he got the fans whipped into a frenzy because they were also disappointed to not see the hooligan. Who do they get in his place? Not only not a babyface, but James Shaw, the most hated heel in the company, the snake oil salesman, the con man, the liar, the cheat. And just he came out and cut the promo in the voice of how Marcus Cool would do it, but obviously mocking Cool very, very, very severely, mocking British culture and everything. Oh my God, so funny. But then the match starts, and I mean, Ram is very strong competition. I mean, this guy's a plug. Like, this guy's a strong, low center of gravity guy. He doesn't have the nickname Ram for nothing. He's gonna try and run right over you and right through you. But Shaw basically dismantled Ram without much problem. This was a short match, 6-minute match, and Shaw in his Marcus Cool imitation makes short work of Ram, gives him the penalty kick to the head, gets the pinfall. One of the moments I liked in it too was Shaw gets Ram in the corner, gives him a shoulder block, and yells "ooh" right in the crumpets. Yes, giving it
That
to
was gold.
the British background of Marcus Cool. Love that, but just more reasons to hate James Shaw. Now he's even just imitating one of the fans' favorite wrestlers in there. My God, humorous, but a great match, and Shaw just showing his multifaceted approach to the whole thing. He can get it done as himself and even imitating someone else. So the fans aren't going to like this, but you got to give a tip of the hat to James Shaw, the talent that he's got.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that was the best part of that one. Up next, we got the SPW New Zealand Championship matchup. Yes, Papa Smokes, Cool Guy Sky, the champion, defending against Liam Fury. And we know Liam Fury has been around the scene for quite some time. So is Cool Guy Sky for that matter. But Liam Fury, we know, is one of the guys behind the training out at SPW New Zealand. We see him over in IPW as well. He comes out, he looks like a different man. All of a sudden, Papa Smokes, he's got the hair missing now. He's got he's got the same trunks more or less, but when that hair was shaved, he looked a whole lot different in this thing. But he didn't work a whole lot different. He's still working very, very strongly inside that ring. And again, Cool Guy Sky, also a very accomplished wrestler in that ring, which led to outside of the finish, being a dusty finish. We talked about those famously tonight. These two put on a fantastic title match with each other. Great back and forth, great selling from both guys. And it only kind of came to that dusty finish, which now leads me to go, what's the angle here? We had a masked man come in, and I think they even made jokes about the references to the masked man overuse in pro wrestling these days on commentary as well too. But masked man comes in and attacks Liam Fury, causing a disqualification. So yes, Liam Fury winning by disqualification, not winning the championship. And I scratch my head going, is this someone trying to get under the skin of the champion, Cool Guy Sky? Or is this a ploy by Liam Fury maybe? Is Liam Fury smart enough to maybe have gotten himself disqualified in this with the help of somebody else, leading to an opportunity to get another matchup, knowing that maybe he can lure Cool Guy Sky into a false sense here and take the title from him at some point in time? Maybe he didn't know, maybe he wasn't quite confident he could get it done on this night, but maybe he's got a bigger master plan at stake here. A lot of questions to be answered from this one. Your thoughts, Papa Smokes?
I think you're probably on the right track there. I mean, you never really know what to think when a masked man comes in, interferes, causes the disqualification, and then you never find out who the masked man was. Not yet, anyway. But herein lies the problem. We had two baby faces out here. Fury basically a baby face in this match as well, but Cool Guy Sky, a pure white meat baby face, as we like to say in the business, completely squeaky clean, always pandering to the fans, and greatly loved among the New Zealand wrestling fans. Both of these guys are high flyers, so really thrilling the fans with always aerial tactics. There was lots of clean wrestling to start this match. The New Zealanders like this, and I also like this about their matches. No matter who's heel and who's babyface, they start a lot of these matches with clean wrestling, and that to me speaks to strong wrestling psychology. That's when you have clean wrestling at the beginning of the match, they're going to compete with each other, but the heel always fears that he can't keep up to the babyface in pure wrestling skill alone. That's why heels are who they are. Is they fear they can't beat the babyface without cheating. That's kind of what happened in this match. Fury still loved by the fans, but started to use heel tactics a little bit towards the middle of this match. And yeah, Fury has tons of experience, tons of skill, but starting to use the heel tactics. Cool Guy Sky using that the cool guy cutter from the second rope. Damn, he's good. Hey, he really hits all those difficult aerial moves always to perfection. We had learned last year that the Cool Guy Sky isn't even a very big veteran in the wrestling game yet, but his moves are perfect. He really attempts difficult stuff and always hits it. I have to admire that. He hit the 450 splash as well. He does it seemingly effortlessly. He's one of those guys that makes those difficult moves look easy. They are not easy. He just is so practiced and so skilled at them. Does it really well. Liam Fury hit a nice brain buster in this. That's one of those moves that no matter who does it, it always looks so dangerous. They're like a pile driver kind of as well, but I think there's even less transparency than with a pile driver. I mean, like that brain buster, when you lift that guy up in that vertical grapevine and looks like you're going to give a suplex, but then just drop him on his head. Damn, that one looked really vicious. But then just when you think there's going to be some kind of a satisfying finish to this, somebody comes out of the crowd in all black and attacks Liam Fury so that the champion, Cool Guy Sky, gets disqualified. And I mean, we talked about Cool Guy Sky. He is a white meat, goody two shoes, baby face all the way. He's going to get disqualified in a match. It's unthinkable, really. And he was so confused by this, too. That's not how Cool Guy Sky wants to retain his title. He wants a pinfall or some. He retains his title. It's not the way he wants it at all. So again, kind of like what happened in PPW, the fans left scratching their heads here. They wanted to see a proper finish to this match, and they didn't get it. So frustration remains. And like you suggested, what's going to happen in the upcoming weeks and months with Liam Fury? You got to think that maybe this has been his plan all along. Got to speculate. Is this how he's going to get under the skin of Cool Guy Sky? Try and get that win and try and get the gold from around Sky's waist.
Yeah, and better yet, who has he got in his corner? Soon to find out. Hopefully those answers will start to be answered on April the 18th when SPW is back in action. But before we go, Public folks, we have to talk about what everyone wants to talk about, and that is the main event of the evening. And this match is the Fight for Gold ladder matches, 4 competitors in, the briefcase hanging over the top, and we want to find out who's going to pull that thing down and win the matchup. We have got Ryder, we have got Azza, we have got Jacko, and we have got J.K. Moody. Now, J.K. Moody, of course, everything that he's done to be a heel over the last little while, absolutely erased just by getting beat up by the Black Light District in one go. People were right back. It is the antidote, J.K. Moody, back in action, the one that they loved, the one that used to be a tag team with K9, and we were going to get to see that side of him. And man, everything that guy does just works out very well. And same with all 4 of these guys, man. They put on a great showing here. I know we've talked about multi-man matches being a little bit overdone lately, but I had fun with this, especially being what it is, what's on the line with this ladder match here. And I like all 4 of these guys a whole heck of a lot, Papa Smokes. I thought this was fantastic. I didn't see the outcome of this one coming. I stayed away from finding out ahead of time what had happened at this card so that I could be surprised by it. And watching it, I was thinking maybe Moody because he's gone back to being on his own, but he doesn't really need it. I'm like, maybe Azza gets it again because Azza wants to get back to the top of the ladder, and that would be his way back, especially after seeing the 2 guys from the Black Light District winning their matches earlier. I thought that would have made a lot of sense. I'm like, Ryder's riding this big high right now. He could probably use it. And then there's Jacko, and I like Jacko a whole heck of a lot, but I'm like, they haven't really pushed Jacko to that point yet for us. And it's not that Jacko doesn't deserve to be pushed to that point. They just haven't pulled the trigger on it. And so when they pulled the trigger on it in this matchup, when Jacko pulled that briefcase down, I'm like, son of a bitch, they're going with it. And they went with it. And I'm like, yes, do it, because this guy is good. And I'm glad for him. I'm happy for him. And I'm curious to see how this pans out, because I'm interested in seeing Jacko in the title picture at SPW.
And we're going to, and I was in the same boat as you, Munson. We watched all these wrestlers over the past couple of years since we've been covering SPW shows, and I got to admit, I did not see Jacko as winning this. I could have pictured any of the other 3. I was thinking one of the other 3 will win. I'm highly impressed by J.K. Moody at all times. I wish we had the clip, Munson, because I'm sure I said this some months ago or last year sometime. J.K. Moody was such a skilled heel, but you know that when someone's that good at being a heel, he's probably going to be that good at being a babyface. And you can see that the crowd wants to get with him. Came out with a different look. He looks cool with the short hair. He's got his tattoos and all the rest of it. As soon as he came out on the ramp, you could see the fans, oh, we want to like this guy now. We hated him intensely for over a year with this whole Black Light District business, but now it's all different. And he came out with a different point of view coming to the ring. Also, we've seen Ryder leave the Congress of Light, he become a babyface, turn on James Shaw, had all kinds of momentum last year. I could have easily seen Ryder win this match as well. Azza, he has impressed with his heel work, winning the SPW New Zealand Championship. I must admit, I wasn't sure that he was going to be a great champion or do a great job. He did. He's fully invested. Wow, he's an awesome heel. Proved it again this match. I'm all aboard with Azza. I like Jacko as well. I just didn't see this coming, and they really swung us on this victory in this ladder match, just as they did in a couple of the previous matches on this card. Some surprises, and I think it's actually a great move now that it's all done. Jacko will be an excellent addition to the championship picture here, and yeah, very surprised through all the violence that happened throughout this match, and there were some really violent spots in this match. I mean, some destruction. You know what's going to happen with a ladder match. After a while, halfway through this match, every single spot and every single move that happened had a chair involved, had various chairs involved, had a ladder involved. God, there were some tremendous spots throughout this. Moody took a big shot through chairs that were set up, just sitting as normal chairs. He took that Alabama slam from Jacko. Oh God, my back hurts just thinking about that. There was another spot where Ryder and Azza were on top of the ladder, but there was another ladder sticking out from that one, and Azza did the kind of sunset flip, Mexican destroyer, Canadian destroyer, right through the other ladder that was sticking out. Oh God, that looked absolutely hellacious, to use a JR term there too as well. That looked like it hurt both of them so badly. So a ton of great spots. And that's another thing about ladder matches and some of these chair spots and all that. They're difficult. They're not going to always go perfectly, but everything went perfect in this match. There was another one where someone's head got put through the back of the chair, and then some kind of a move done with that too. But God, that just looked awful. I remember just rewinding it just to see, like, is he actually okay? Like, how did they even do that without hurting Azza completely in the spot? Yeah, no, it went just fine. So this match, it's testament to the skill of the wrestlers involved that they managed to get through this match. Everything looked perfect. Everything went perfectly. And we got our winner, Jacko, climbing up to the very top. There were several false finishes in this too. Guys standing on the top rung, starting to unhook the thing, and oh no, there's chairs flying up and hitting them. But Jacko gets his moment at the top of the ladder, unhooks that briefcase, and now he's looking good at the top of the championship picture in SPW. Very well done, in my opinion.
Absolutely perfect. Loved it. Great card. In fact, my final thoughts, go check it out for yourselves. We can only do so much justice talking about it, but once again, excellent from everybody over at SPW. Thank you for giving your stuff for free on YouTube. So everybody go check them out. Your quick final thoughts, Papa Smokes, before we say our goodbyes for the evening.
I always enjoy SPW. I'm loving the New Zealand wrestling, as I always have been. These guys impressed me the very first time we watched one of their cards, and they've all been good. And this one was good. Bunch of surprises, some swerves, some surprises all the way through this. James Shaw standing out as one of their top talents. K9, Ryder, Jacko, all the guys did such a great job in this. So, but tip of the hat to you guys. Another feather in your cap, another great card. And as usual, left at the end thinking, damn, I want to watch the next show already because I want to see what happens.
Yeah, well, they'll be running that show April 18th, much like WrestleMania and the BPW over that WrestleMania weekend. But Papa Smokes, your amazing, beautiful, expensive tickers on the screen while you keep that momentum going and let the people know where they can find you.
Sounds good. I can always be found on Ring Respect Radio every Thursday evening. It's the very podcast you're watching right now, and it's the one that I co-host. Other than that, I can be found online at Elon Musk's Free Speech Wonderland, also known as X. I am at smokes_papa. Also, allegedly on Twitch at papa_smokes_. That's if you can find me.
Reach out to Papa Smokes. You can find me, Bobby Munson, across all the socials as well. You can find me here, Point of View, Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern time with Andre C. talking about the week in sports. And you can catch myself and Papa Smokes every Saturday, 1 in the afternoon, Saskatchewan time, 3 in the East Coast for a new match from Prairie Pro Wrestling. If you want to also support everything going on at OLE Podcast, please do so. We're across all social media and also on YouTube and Twitch, where we are a Twitch partner and a YouTube partner. And more importantly, yes, thank you, Mangler. If you're watching on replay and it happens to be at least 24 hours after this video has processed, we want you to use your hype points. Yes, you get up to 3 hype points you can give out per week for certain channels, specific creators, just like us. Pop Spokes, you and I have made the hype charts here in Canada twice now, a number 56 and a number 100. Let's keep that momentum going, people. Keep sharing the love, keep sharing the hypes. Also, remember to like, follow, subscribe, all those things. Give us a comment in the comment section. If you're watching on replay, turn on the notification bell so you will know when we release new material here on OLE Podcast. Thank you, everyone who tuned in live. Thank you, everyone who is watching on replay. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in 1 week's time. Take care, everyone.